Hey, would you be able to meet up with me at some point this weekend so I can show you something? Yeah, what are you wanting to show me? I talked to him last night over FaceTime. I recorded the entire thing on video. I'm still testifying for you, don't worry. He asked me to lie when I testified. I would send you the video, but it's like 2 hours long. I told him that he needs to settle on what the parenting recommendation was, because he's not going to get any better. He said he wasn't willing to settle for under 50/50ths because he knows he deserves the kids. He asked you to lie. That's witness tampering. He knows you are listed as one of my witnesses. In his words, he said just tell them not all of what you thought to be true was actually true, and you believed it because you were upset with. I told him there was no way. I'm talking to attorneys and CPS agents. I'm not lying to them. If he hasn't done anything wrong, he would have nothing to worry about. He was a wreck on the phone, though. He was begging me to help him, and he knew that I was the only one who could fix the situation. Had he been drinking, do you think? I don't think so, but you know that's hard to tell. I told him I was going to get a restraining order against him if he wouldn't stop harassing me, and he said that he would always be there for me, and he missed me so much. He even tried to deny to Facebook account again, until I told him I had proof. Then he actually admitted he was trying to get me to send him what you had on him. Honestly, though, I'm worried about how unstable he's getting. He was begging me to go to the house to see him in person. He wanted to show me some evidence he apparently has that will prove he needs to have the kids, and not you. Please listen to me when I tell you that going to see him when he's like this is the worst idea you could ever have. I lived it for years. If he gets you alone, you won't be leaving until he knows you won't turn on him again. Oh, I will never go see him again outside of a courtroom. If he had something he wanted to show me, he could have done it on FaceTime. This entire thing boils down to the fact that he can't lose to someone. His pride won't let him. You left him. You're going to get the kids. He's alone. How can he keep up his fake persona when he loses custody of the kids? Please just be careful. Don't let up on a restraining order. Do we have any way to go after Nico for basically breaking into my apartment? I have cameras up now, but I haven't caught anything. Not without solid proof. With how high profile your divorce has become in the area, the police are not going to be willing to go after him when there is no damning evidence. I'm not willing to have my kids be called in to testify against their father either, so unless I catch him on camera, there's nothing we can do. I do have other news. Your witness, CeCe, who submitted that affidavit and screenshots to us, contacted the office this morning. She is requesting to be pulled as a witness for the case and is not wanting to testify anymore. I told her that was not an option, as she has already submitted her statement. But something is going on with her. I bet he convinced her to take him back. Hey, I just left my attorney's office, and they told me you contacted them about pulling out. What's going on? Are you okay? I went to see Nico, and he explained a lot of what is going on that I have been unaware of. I made a comment in my affidavit about Nico being rough during sex when he was upset with me, and I see now that I was wrong in doing this. I feel like he is suffering like you want him to already because he's losing the kids. He's going to lose everything because of what I did. The best thing I can do for him now is step away and let it work itself out. I know you want the video, but all that will do is cause a disaster. You realize he is still trying for full custody. If he showed you everything, you should see that he filed for full custody. Not 50-50, it's like he has been. The only reason he has to take those stupid classes is because you and your attorney took my affidavit and made it seem like he Abu Dollar-ed me. He has to take the classes due to 10 years of documented mental and physical Abu and third towards me. Even without your statement, he would have to take those classes. Please reconsider sending the video to me. There is no video. I lied to see if you would try to use it to ruin him, and you did. That's how I know I was wrong to trust you. I've seen portions of the video already, CeCe, and it is documented that you told the courts you would submit it. If you destroy the video, that will be considered evidence tampering. Don't do this to yourself. So that's why your attorney served me paperwork to get the video. All I have done is to try and help you, but it's never enough. I'm done. Have me tested. Court is now in session to settle the divorce of Nico and Harper Blank, as well as determine the custody arrangement for the 3 children from the marriage. We will begin with Nico, as you are representing yourself. Is this correct? Yes, Your Honor, thank you. If we are to look at the facts of this case, it is clear that the opposing party has built their case on lies and attempts of defamation. I believe that through my key witnesses and evidence, I will show that Harper Blank is an unfit parent. For years, my wife and I have had what I believe to be a happy and loving marriage. We were blessed with 3 beautiful babies, and I was more than happy to primarily support us all. As Harper has never been capable of wise financial decision-making, I consistently had to bail us out of her impulsive decisions. I often needed help from my... How is this relevant in the case, sir? Well, Your Honor, Harper and her attorney are attempting to divide properties as marital assets that she has no right to. The boat and both cars are not marital property. They are in my parents' name because Harper's credit was too bad and affected our financing options. Both of my parents are here today as witnesses and are prepared to back this statement up. But financial decisions are not the only decisions she had issues with that affected our marriage in a negative way. Near the end of our marriage, Harper began multiple affairs. She would expose the children to men and women partners, and my children were terrified. I have the current babysitter of the children, who has watched the children in both homes, who can attest to this. I would like to hear from her. Please call your witness. Can you state your name for the court? My name is Amanda Blank. And Amanda, is it true that you have cared for the children in both my home and Harper's apartment? Yes, I was the children's babysitter when you 2 were still together, and you both have continued to use me for care. Though I primarily babysit for Harper now. Have you witnessed examples of Harper's immorality around the children? Firsthand, no. I have never seen anyone at Harper's apartment when I have been there. I have been told about instances, though, from you and the boys. They seemed very disturbed by what they told me, but I never saw anything of concern when I was there. Did it ever make you uncomfortable due to Harper's indiscretions? Not until you and the boys told me about what was going on. If you hadn't have said something, I would have never known. As you can see from my witness, Harper's sexual immorality not only made my children uncomfortable, but it also caused severe distress to an adult caretaker to the children. This is unacceptable. My children should not have to feel like this. This is why I am requesting that the courts require Harper to complete intensive inpatient therapy for her needs. She has a sex addiction. I have warned the courts of this since the beginning of our divorce, and have not been taken seriously. I see. Please call your next witness. I will be calling forward my mother, Helen. Helen, how well do you know the other party? Harper. Oh, I would like to say I know her very well after a decade of her being in my family, but clearly I do not. I don't think she even knows herself. She is a deceitful, Is it true that the other party has spread multiple lies about me that can damage my relationship with my children as well as put my livelihood in jeopardy? Oh yes. It breaks my heart that she ended up being like this. She seemed like such a sweet girl when you first got together. Could you elaborate on some of the lies that have been told? She has insisted for a year now that you have been stalking and hacking her through her Facebook account. She claims that you have access to her personal messages, which is ridiculous. All she would have to do is change her password and email. I have multiple mutual friends with Harper on Facebook, and I have been able to confirm that the evidence my son has provided to the courts is from public posts she has made on her Facebook, not by hacking. Thank you. I have no further questions. Before you are seated, ma'am, I have some questions for you. I wasn't aware that you would be allowed to question me as well. Oh, it's just simple questions, to add some clarity. Now, you say you have mutual friends with Harper, but in your written affidavit you claimed you were friends with her yourself, and that was how you were able to give your son the information needed. Well, both things can be true, can't they? I am an old woman, and Facebook confuses me at times. I see. I am just confused, because looking at the activity log my client was able to obtain from Facebook, it shows that you have been blocked by my client since the beginning of the separation. If you were blocked, how were you able to see my client's page? I don't know. It must have been a glitch on Facebook, because I can see her profile still. I see. Would you mind pulling out your phone now to show us how you can view her profile? Absolutely not. You have no right to demand to see my personal property. Of course, of course. Now, my next question would have to be, how was your son able to obtain the private Facebook messages between Harper and others without hacking into her account? They must have sent him screenshots. People have finally begun to open their eyes about who Harper truly is. They sent screenshots. Could you help me identify which color messages were from Harper's account? The blue ones clearly, that say, hey, it's Harper. So the blue messages on the right side of the screen are from my client. Obviously. Ma'am, are you aware that that would mean Harper would have had to have been the one to screenshot the messages? Why does it matter how he got the messages? All this proves is she was the one saying terrible things. Okay, moving on. Your son claims that the vehicles and the boat are all in your husband and yours name, and you to make the payments and allow Nico and Harper to use them. Is this correct? Yes. Technically, those are my possessions. Ma'am, you do know that it is a crime to lie under oath, correct? Are you calling me a liar? I am just failing to see how the boat and vehicles can be in your name and my client's name. Because by looking at the titles and bank statements of my client, it shows me that she is listed as the legal owner as well as Nico, making this marital property. You don't know what you're talking about. Ma'am, I am not the one who is confused on the facts. Moving on to my next witness. Can you state your name to the court, please? My name is CeCe Blank. Now, CeCe, we have known each other for quite some time, isn't that right? Yes, I have known you for quite a few years. And in these years, you have been around myself and my children multiple times. Is this correct? Over the past 7 months, yes. And would you say that I am a good father to my children? I'm sorry, but I'm not comfortable answering that question. I want to make sure that I am completely honest, and I have never seen you deal with the children without another adult helping. I'm sure you are a good father to them, though. Now, is it true that Harper spent the past few weeks pressuring you into writing an affidavit for her and her attorney after we broke up? Not exactly. So you didn't feel pressured to write an affidavit full of lies due to the other party consistently contacting and pleading with you for help? She never pleaded or pressured me. She did ask me to write an affidavit, which I did. I wish I had not, because this has gotten very messy. But I did, and I know what I wrote was what I witnessed. I have no more questions for this witness. Clearly she has been bribed or coached by the other party, as this is not what she said to me before court. I would like to call my next witness. Your Honor, I would like to take this moment to cross-examine the current witness before moving on. Do you not have witnesses of your own? Oh, of course. And you are free to cross-examine them as well when it is your turn. Could you tell the court the nature of your relationship with the other party mom? I am his girlfriend, and you have known him for years, even during his marriage. How exactly did you two meet? He was my teacher for 2 years in high school. How is this relevant? I am only trying to understand the history between you two. Moving on, the other party claims that you have told him you believe he is the fit parent and deserves full custody of the children. Your affidavit states a very different belief. So which is it? I have stated that I did not lie in my affidavit already. I do believe that things have been taken out of context, or I may have been too harsh in some things though. It can't be both. It is either the truth, or you were too harsh. Can you please clarify which it is? I'm sorry, I don't know how to answer that. Let's move on to a more straightforward question. Do you believe that Nico Blank has had the best interest of his children in mind throughout this separation and custody battle? CeCe is quiet and seems to be reflecting on the question. Ma'am, I do need a verbal answer, please. Ma'am, are you crying? I'm so sorry. I know you aren't supposed to be emotional while testifying. I don't know what to tell you. I love him so much, but I know he's lied to me about so many things. And he tells me that Harper is lying and I don't know what to believe anymore. Please answer the question. I think he has been consumed with his own anger over his divorce instead of focusing on the children. I'm sorry, Nico. Thank you. One last question for you. Have you ever heard the other party threaten or wish harm to my client or the children? He may have made statements, but they were in anger. He didn't mean it. Could you tell us what these statements were? Please don't make me say that. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be put in the middle of this. Why are you afraid of answering? Are you afraid of the other party? I don't want to be in the middle. I don't want to make him angry. You may be seated, CeCe. There is no reason for you to testify to what you heard, because it has been given to us through the video you submitted to the courts to use as evidence. Your Honor, if you don't mind, I would like to play the video clip submitted as evidence. I believe that it will help shine a light on the type of father Nico is.